talked about what is arthritis, okay? Now let's talk about things that can contribute to arthritis and the pain, because we're focusing on inflammation and the pain that comes along with arthritis, okay? The number one thing that causes you pain when you have any type of inflammation is sugar. Now, we all know sugar is one of the worst things you can consume, and something that I love, and it's a terrible thing. Sugar is the number one thing that you can consume that's going to cause you pain. If you are in a lot of pain, I don't care if you have osteoarthritis, I don't care if you have rheumatoid arthritis, I don't care if you have a sprain, I don't care if you have sciatica pain, I don't care if you have any type of pain. Sugar makes the pain worse, especially refined sugar. Okay? I'm not talking if you going sitting down eating some grapes. I'm talking about you sitting down drinking a soda. You know, I'm talking about you sitting down eating a slice of cake. I'm talking about you sitting down and eating potato chips, because that is actually the potatoes break down into refined sugars. I'm talking about you sitting down, we're going to talk about that too, about potato chips too. I'm talking about you sitting down eating pie. I'm talking about you sitting down enjoying your favorite ice cream at nighttime. I'm talking about all those things like that. Sugar causes inflammation. Sugar causes you pain. So if you are already in pain and you eat sugar, you will be in more pain. Okay? So the number one thing that causes you pain is sugar. So if you're dealing with arthritis, reduce or get off the sugars. Number two, trans fats. Okay? Now, what the heck is a trans fat? Trans fats are synthetic fats. They're actually synthetic fats. So what happens is, in the world of chemistry, you have trans and you have cis. You even hear that nowadays with sexuality. Now, I'm a cis woman. I'm a trans woman. We ain't going to get into all that, okay? But there's cis and trans. Cis is this way. Let's say you look at trans is the opposite, the upside down way. So trans fat, at the end of the bond of a trans fat, they have the opposite, the molecules are turned upside down. Okay, is in a trans position. So a trans fat is a made up fat. So what they do is, a good example is margarine, where most people don't really use as much as they used to, but margarine is a trans fat. So what they do is they take regular vegetable oil and they pump hydrogens into the bonds to make this polysaturated fat become a saturated fat. And the form that it becomes is in a trans fat. Okay, because those hydrogens turn the bonds upside down, right? Whereas butter, even though it's a saturated fat, is in a cis form. It's already naturally made like that. So it's not in a trans fat. Trans fats have two things. Trans fats do so unique to trans fats. It's one of the only fats that actually raise your LDL and lower your HDL. Okay? Raise your LDL, raise the bad one, but it does something else. It lowers the good one. Most other fats will either raise the good one and not touch the bad one, or raise the bad one and not mess with the good one. This does both. It makes the bad one higher, as well as it lowers the good stuff. So it's giving you a double whammy. Also, trans fats cause a tremendous amount of inflammation in the blood vessels and inflammation in the joints. Trans fats cause you pain. Now, like I said, potato chips, they turn into sugars when you digest them, and they are made in usually trans fat oils, or cottonseed oils and all other things like that. So a lot of baked goods have trans fat. Now, why do they have trans fats? Because trans fats last longer. You know, they don't spoil you as fast as butter. They don't spoil you as fast as olive oil. They don't spoil you as fast as regular fats. Okay, so trans fats have are lasting longer in baked goods. A good way you know if something has trans fats, it says hydrogenated. Okay, you look for oil and it says hydrogenated, that means it's a trans fat. Okay, so that's a good way of remembering that. Trans fats cause you pain. Number one, sugar. Number two, trans fats. Number three, red meat and saturated fats. Red meat causes you pain. Okay, you know, you like to sit down and throw down on your cheeseburger, enjoy it while your knees hurt. You like to eat that really nice Wagyu steak, enjoy it while your joints hurt. Enjoy it while your fingers are burning you and hurting you and they stiff when you wake up in the morning. Red meat causes you pain. Now, red meat is not just beef. You know, you got lamb, you got, what's else another lamb? Lamb, you got sheep, you got goat, all those red meats, even venison is a red meat. So, and that's deer. You know, so all those red meats cause you pain, and more saturated fats cause you pain. Okay? So those cause more inflammation. Processed meats. Now, processed meats be salami, hot dogs, bacon, bologna, all those things like that. Now, why do those have a lot of cause you pain? They have a lot of nitrates in these meats. Nitrates act as preservatives in the meat. Well, nitrates cause inflammation. Okay? So we already dealing with inflamed joints. Do we want to put gasoline on our joints? I always tell people that, you know, oh, I can't get away from it. Well, you know, if you don't want to get away from it, I understand. Enjoy it. Just don't come to me that you're in pain. You know, okay, you want to keep taking Tylenol? Enjoy it. Just don't come to me when your liver's bothering you. I've already given you things to avoid. Processed meat, hot dogs, salamis, bolognas, bacon, all those things like that are high in trans fats. Not really trans fats, but high in saturated fats. They're red meat usually products, as well as they also have nitrates in there that cause inflammation, okay? So we talked about processed meat. Omega-6 rich foods. Omega-6 rich foods, and mainly the oils, okay? So such as cooking your foods in corn oil, canola oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, cottonseed oil, peanut oil. All these oils cause pain, okay? Vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is just, soybean oil. A tremendous amount of omega-6s. Now, we talked about omega-3s earlier. We talked about that many times, or how important omega-3s are when it comes down to dealing with inflammation. 95% of all diseases start with inflammation. One of the first things your body uses to turn off inflammation is what? Omega-3. Well, guess what? The counterbalance to omega-3 is omega-6. We already talked about that. Omega-6 causes inflammation. Why is that important? Because if you cut yourself, you want blood to flow there, and you want it to get inflamed so the immune system knows where to fight at. You want to get blood flowing. You want heat there so it cons off infections. You want inflammation where the body needs it. If it's an infection, if it's inflamed, the body goes there to repair. The problem is that if you keep inflammation too long, it starts to burn up everything else. You want your chimney to work. You want to burn wood. You know, you want your house to be warm. Okay? That's what you want. You want the house to be warm. You want your furnace to work, right? You want the house to be warm. What you don't want you to do is your furnace to turn and burn up your house. You don't want the furnace to start shooting flames out and burn up the house. Well, that's what happens when you consume too much omega-6, especially on omega-6 rich oils. Okay, like corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, peanut oil, cottonseed oil. Those things cause you to have more pain, and we're trying to get out of pain. Now, refined foods. Refined really carbohydrates. So, white bread, French fries, white pasta, white rice, white sugar, pizza, all those things that are refined causes more inflammation. And why is that? When it's refined, usually it causes the body to break it down and create more sugar. And what did we just say? The number one thing that causes pain for us and inflammation is sugar. Okay? So refined foods. You want to avoid refined foods. So, as you know, we are the health show. We don't just talk about what you should avoid. We talk about what you should eat. Okay, so we already talked about things when it comes down to refined foods and sugars and oils and things like that. Now, before I go on, do anybody want to say anything? I'm going to unmute you, and you tell me if you have any anything that you want to respond to. Talk to me, people.